Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. It is, where are we here? It is Thursday, July 18th, T minus 1.5 weeks till TRI Vancouver Meetup 2019. Woohoo! Hope you all are having a good time of it. Hey, Spencer, God, I haven't seen you in a dog's age. Nice to see you, dude. Just checking out the people popping into the lounge. Of course, we got Murat and his 13 friends. I think, Murat, are you doing the write-ups of the daily briefs?
Yes, I am. Today it's
Yeah,
my
you're
turn.
doing a fantastic job, sir. Absolutely love it.
Thanks.
Great to see people. We got Colleen in the call this morning. Great to see her. So proud of Colleen, just working her like a soldier, trying to learn all this stuff. And I got to tell you, I was so pleased to see all the people banging out winning trades in the lounge this morning. A bunch of people got off some free positions now on Overstock, so they had the patience and discipline to wait for their levels. I have to say, this community is just rocking it. I'm so proud of all you guys. Um, this is Thursday, and unfortunately, we do have limited seats in the hangout now. So, way to go for the people that made it to the adult table. But being Thursday, we've got a special presentation. We've got the baby powder report. Actually, maybe before we get Julian going, we might as well say hi to the mayor driving the bus, making sure we're on schedule and things are rocking. How you doing this morning, Alex?
Hey, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Excellent, thank you. Always great to have you in control of things here. It makes me feel a lot more confident that this show will run and operate smoothly. So, with that said, the mayor will sort of be guiding the bus as we drive along the path. And today's path, we're going to go down the pediatrics department for a special baby powder report from Julian. Morning, Julian.
Hello, everybody. I want to show my face, but I am yet again having technical difficulties. It's almost sorted, but I've got a special little surprise for everybody today.
Right on.
So
That's
just
cool.
bear with me 1 second here. I'm almost done.
All right, maybe throw yourself on mute, and as soon as you're ready to go, maybe just type in the little chat box on the Hangout that you're ready to rock this thing, and I'll lead you in. Okay. So looking at the broader market, and I sort of talked about this in the daily brief yesterday. Talked about it in the little 10-minute summary.
Really quick. Sorry to interrupt. Can someone drop out of the call because I need to join with my computer, and I can't. Thank you.
Oh, geez, now
Okay, people
are dropping off right, left, and center here for you.
Okay, I've got it. All right. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. I'm joining now. Okay, go ahead, Brian.
Maybe you can throw yourself on mute and get yourself all set up and type in the box when you're ready to go. And then that way I can give you a lead in. As I had sort of said yesterday, I'm a little concerned about the broader market's health in the stock market. Transports, we got a Dow theory sell signal there. I was quite interested yesterday. I mean, you can see the fractal top that's come in on the S&P 500. Probably going to find some supportive value high. Notice the cheeky little gap there, maybe a check of this cup and handle thesis breakout. And of course, gee whiz, the politics in the United States is really heating up right now. So never a dull moment from that perspective. We've also got, of course, the testimony in front of Congress coming up here by Mr. Mueller. That should happen shortly. And we have the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee's meeting actually right around our TRI meetup date. I would imagine people are going to start getting a little scared about that. I was really interested to see a couple things in the broader market before we jump into Julian's report. Algo produced actually a pretty sweet little signal yesterday on the S&Ps, and you can see 2-to-1s were hit. Suppose if you sold half on a 2-to-1 and just trailed the remaining, interesting how this morning's candle high is basically that 2-to-1 level. So if you were trailing positions, probably best to hop if we recapture this high here. And I guess some of the markets that have really jumped out at me recently, I squared up that SRCI oil stock on its technical breakdown, and you can see that oil is just fallen out of bed here. I'm wondering whether maybe we're doing megaphony type price action right now. Very volatile, very choppy. But yet again, this little algo producing some really cute little signals here. And interesting how we got up into 2-to-1s and then waffled. Also interesting too how that was the bot move stop to scratch level over this massive bottom. And I think botters were politely told to get the heck out of there on that technical breakdown there. And you can actually see algo actually is going uber bear here. That's calming down a bit probably now that we're coming into that megaphone level. We've talked recently lots about this. You have the gold and Japanese yen seem to be back into sort of lockstep here. Big move up here on the gold this morning, testing the previous highs that we just painted there the other day. And the yen is doing the same. Interesting how the bonds actually broke out yesterday. And technically, according to this algo signal, they're still sort of working away. But I get a little bit leery. I remember we had a really big setup on the S&P 500 algo. It's just a massive one. And coming in, maybe this is, again, like on the bonds, it's a huge setup. So I'm still sort of watching and feeling out how that algo operates when you have such a massive range like that. It's tough to say. But nonetheless, bonds pointing up, yen pointing up, gold pointing up, and Bitcoin's pointing up now. Woohoo! Thought this was fascinating. I mean, this is another massive formation, big old fractal there. But it did actually hit its 2-to-1 objective. AB equals CDs on these futures contracts. And, the other side of that, I think we even talked about that, some traders probably just squaring up and saying, look, I've squeezed as much out of this short as I want. And I am hearing a lot of sort of talk on Twitter and stuff this morning about short squeezes and stuff like that. And, understandably, the price has fallen about $4,000 here just recently. So speaking of which, I'll just sort of quickly touch on this. Actually, before we jump into Bitcoin, interesting to see the metals proxies, the one that I was talking about yesterday, this PDL keeps moving to new highs. So it's looking very positive here. Botters, if you had decided to take this trendline breakout that I was talking about yesterday, it's kind of a tough trade because it just never came back. But that little bot setup getting close to moving stop to scratch on that one. And frankly speaking, I don't see any reason why we can't hit this 50% roll. It seems completely logical to me. And gee whiz, that happens to be just right around that bot target. And we got a big fat gap sitting in there. So, well, let's see, where should we go next? Probably take a quick boo before we release Julian. I've been talking to you guys recently about these bullish divergences that were coming in on MACD on Bitcoin. We did have Willie go very briefly stupid there. And of course, we had this reload zone. And we had 2 AB equals CD levels hit on this OKCoin forwards contract. So I can understand it. I put out a tweet this morning just saying, I can understand swing traders hunting longs. No doubt about it. That is one ugly ass bottom there. The tail this morning, I think everybody was like, oh, Jesus, here we go. Bitcoin's going to dump again. And of course, through the New York kill zone. What a shock. It was a trap. And then they quickly knee-jerked the market right back up. I don't know whether Julian's going to, whether we see this on Julian's RSI. And of course, when we release him, he will show us. But, really, really good example. We've been talking to you guys recently about including things like volatility indicators to help sort of frame a trade. So again, trade location, signs of divergence. In this case, this morning, we actually got a double divergence confirmed. And we also got a nice, actually, really, you could argue a double divergence in Mr. Bollinger's volatility indicator. And this is sort of like the momentum of volatility, this BB percentage B. So put it all together, I actually think this setup is working now. It's an ugly bottom, don't get me wrong, it's not pretty. But long and short of it here, this is technically a W. And gee whiz, a 2-to-1 off of this W is going to do nothing more than just take us right back into the area where professionals that wanted to short Bitcoin would short Bitcoin. So fascinating to see this playing out this morning. All right, that's about all that I have to say this morning. I will note that the 2 little altcoin trades that I put on recently, there's just not much going on here. This little BTT BitTorrent is flirting with breaking down. It hasn't broken down yet. If it does, then I will come out and publicly say, look at the setup failed, just walk away. And of course, do so. And good old Doge. Doge actually was jumping up here nicely yesterday. I do find that Doge, to a certain degree, is a nice sort of counter Bitcoin proxy, but just sort of riding its trend line right now, just twiddling its thumbs. Okay, Julian, what do you think? Are you ready to do this thing?
Yeah, I'm having some. I've got my charts up, but I'm having some trouble. Whenever I start screen sharing, it seems to slow down again. I don't know why I have this issue every week. I've tested it with other streaming.
Can you take a screenshot, like, hit the little camera button, right? Say like this.
No. I don't want to. No, that's not how I would do it.
And then just screen share and talk about this chart, because what I see is that you're zooming in and out all the time, and that's pretty hard on your computer.
Well, it's mostly like it seems to be.
This is your day. This is your report. Let's just do this thing. You do as best as you can. I'll go on mute now. So if we freeze up and the call crashes, then that's fine. Right.
I'm gonna share my screen.
We'll screen share you. Which actually, Alex, maybe you can do this. You want to? There you go. Oh, look at that! You got picture in picture. Was that the sort of the?
Yeah. So this is my surprise. Hello, everybody. This is me sitting over the San Francisco Bridge, and I can change it. I can go to space. I'm in space now. Hello. And I can do this. Or this is the special one I got for when crypto's crashing. and then this is like the happy one here. Can you guys hear me? Hello. Testing.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Can you see my little picture in picture?
Yeah, it's very nice. I think it's. We should do a segment where you're just changing and switching through backgrounds.
I think we should. I think so. That's what I would like to do once my computer's working a little bit better. Okay, so the background switching works for sure. That was most important. Okay, you can see my hand like going in and out. Ooh. I figured it's more exciting than what we normally have. This is the real background for anyone curious. Oh, it's not even working. Okay, let's just get to the charts. S&P. Oh, did I freeze completely? Can you hear me? Oh, okay. So that was switching to my normal background. This is the normal background. Let's go back to something a little more exciting. Okay. S&P has broken down for me on the daily chart. I'm looking at hunting short opportunities on any rebounds. If we can get a rebound up to this 300 area, I would like to put on some shorts. It broke down with the RSI. That's all I really need to see. MACD broke down too. I could draw a line here, but you can kind of imagine it. We would go up something like this, and it would cross over here. So today and yesterday with a big cross. Today kind of confirms it. Let's look at I like to look at the options. I'm not going to drill down in the S&P today. I'm just going to show you the options, and let's see where we predict it to close. So we've got 136,000 puts at 290, and then at 300 we've got 110,000 calls. To me, it looks like we're going to close somewhere. 295 would be a nice sweet spot, but because we are positive on the RSI, We're above the VIP line, which means we're in a bullish trend. I always like to err on the bullish side. So I expect a close between 295, unless some crazy news comes out. If there's no insane news, and I haven't checked the report, I don't know what's coming out tomorrow. I don't think anything serious. Usually the first of the month is like the craziest, most serious stuff, but we're not there yet. I think we're going to get a close somewhere between 295 and 300. If I was a betting person, I would say around where we are right now, 297, 298 area. I might consider putting on a butterfly trade to profit from a close around the 298, 297 area myself. You know what? Let's just go down to the 1 hour. Let's see if I can get it to go down to that. You can see also, for some reason, my trading view thinks it's changed everything to Thai. It even recognizes that I'm in Thailand. I don't know why I can't tell that I'm actually sitting over the San Francisco Bridge right now. That should be in English. Let's see, here we go. Good thing I know what the symbols mean. So you can see we have this big downtrend on the 1 hour RSI, but it's trying to put in a bit of a bottom here, and you can see even on the TD mark, we're at a 9. So if I make this a little bit bigger here, so you see we're at a 9, and we're right at the midpoint of the Keltner channel. So it wouldn't surprise me if we bounced up here to like 298. To the upper end of the Keltner channel and the bottom of the resistance around 298.5. That's what I would expect to see going into Friday. I don't know what's going to happen Monday. I think we'll make this bounce and then possibly we'll continue lower. I don't see anything positive about this market. The daily looks horrible. It really just broke down over the last couple days. This was your big breakdown here. Obviously, you can see. I think there's more than a few people that follow RSI trend lines, or maybe some other signal. But when this crossed, I mean, this crossed. The confirmation was actually here, this day. So you could have shorted here, and if I was watching it closely, I would have too. But I've been watching the crypto market and the gold market. If I was watching it closely, I would have shorted here, and then you can see like that short would have paid big time. You look how far we dropped since then. Hold on, I'm just turning my air conditioning off. Okay. That's my thoughts on the S&P. Nothing complicated. I think we'll bounce a little bit from here, and then we'll probably head lower. I would like to see a little bit of structure. We could retrace to the 300 level or the 299 level, and then move lower. I think we need to come down and fill this gap for sure around 293. I would be targeting this level over the next 2 to 3 weeks. I don't think we're going to go much higher. I don't see much bullishness. It needs to pull back and take a break. We went too far too fast. So that's my opinion on the S&P. I love to look at Beyond Meat, so we're gonna talk about that. Oh, thank you, Kelly, and thank you. I appreciate the comment. I should load up the YouTube channel and see what people are saying. Hopefully everybody likes it. I'm thinking about. I was supposed to do a site update. I'll do it at the end. A couple things that we're doing and that I'm planning to do to be a little bit more involved in the community. But first, let me go through all this, especially crypto. A lot to talk about with crypto. It's been a crazy week, crazy past 2 weeks. Last week, crypto the sky was falling, everything was going to hell. Bitcoin was going to go to zero. All the altcoins were trash. May still be trash, but today there's been a big change and a big turning point. So I want to talk about that. But let me finish with stocks really quick. We'll get into some gold. I'll touch base on Thai bot really quick, and then we'll go into crypto. So just all those crypto enthusiasts out there, just hold your horses. I'll get there. Beyond Meat, I like to talk about it every week. Who doesn't like to talk about fake meat products and watching what's happening in the fake meat market? So I'm gonna, normally I like to look at like a 4-hour daily, but this chart, there's so little data that I prefer kind of looking at like a 2-hour. So you can see how the 2-hour here it's hit support, and Beyond Meat's still not going down. This thing just won't die. I keep expecting it to go down to 100 level where we have that huge gap, but it refuses to touch that. I mean, this was back in, I can't actually read it now because it's in Thai, but it was on the 6th, I think, of last month or this month. No, the last month. So the 6th of May. So it's been over a month where it's been sitting up here. I guarantee there's tons of puts that have expired. I wanna look at it again actually. And thankfully my computer, I have no idea why, but it's working. So let's just hope it keeps working. Load. I'm not really sure why it's taking a while. Did I just unplug my power? Hold on, guys. I just unplugged my power by accident. Okay, there we go. I'll plug it back in. Okay, so we've got a bunch of calls here and a bunch of puts. You can see we have a ton of puts down here, like a massive amount. And they're all going to expire worthless. Let's see what's going to happen the end of this month. And I did this last week. I want to go through it quickly, just so we can, people that follow the show can see how big of a deal puts and calls and options can have. I don't know why this is going so slow. This is really annoying. Okay, so a bunch of puts here at 152 and at 99.5, but it's only 50,000 or so. Oh wow, this computer is really freezing. Okay, let me just close this. Let's see if we can, maybe it's because the plug came out. Okay, maybe it will be better. I apologize, guys. I'm not sure why. This is extremely, trust me, this is more frustrating to me than to anyone out there. I don't know why this happens. Hold on one second. I'm going to stop screen sharing and reset it. Okay, one second. I'm gonna try after this show over the next week to really get this figured out once and for all. This shouldn't be happening. I don't know why this is happening. It's only when I use Google Hangouts and screen share. Normally I have no slowdowns or issues with the computer. Even I've used like Zoom and Skype and this doesn't happen. So I'm not sure why with Google Hangouts this happens. Just one second. From what I can tell, I get some kind of memory leak that it's like one tab that goes over 1,000 megabytes, and then I have to just end task it, and then it resets, and then it'll start building up again. I'm not really sure why that happens.
Well, I can always throw the options information page that you're referring to on my screen.
Yeah, I'm just resetting now. It should come back up in a second. I need to do like a hangout with somebody else that has like a Windows 10 computer and see what happens to them when they load a Google Hangout in their task manager, because I don't know why it's like a memory leak. The name is BYND, Beyond Meat. I don't know why this in the back of my computer gets really hot, but the fan doesn't turn on.
All right, well, we got to not have dead air here. That's never a good thing. So here is the options skew for Beyond Meat on my screen if you want to share this, Alex. So we have a heavy open interest on the puts at $100. The calls looks like 180, 175, 170. So you never know whether probably a lot of those are covered calls. that were written on people who own the stock. We see a pretty big open interest on the 160 puts. It's about 4,000 contracts, so it's not that much, but I can understand it. They probably win, knock a cover off the ball, total home run if they can park the stock. It looks like just right around sort of like 165 to 170 area, just below 170. So interesting to see the stock sitting basically at 170 and 29 cents right now. I think the options boys do okay. All right. Do you have a screen back?
Yeah, I'm gonna close my where I was sharing that like view of my face and stuff. And it was fun, but I'm wondering if that's not helping. So I'm gonna close it and see if that makes a difference here.
So my little North American Palladium as a metal proxy in this metal bull run is now sitting, where are we here? 1558, and the move stopped to, let's see if I have these numbers correctly here. Lows 1327. Oh, actually, no, I can change this. So we'll move that one tick down so I can officially say 27. Yay. I can officially say, had you taken this bot, you are now given permission to move your stop to scratch. Yay, way to go. Love when those setups produce these kind of trades where you're not stressed out about the position anymore. Also notice, for anybody who's interested, KPTI, this pharma name, I think it's trying to bot out here. So if you wanted to participate in this little rally, I'm hearing talk, anybody who's in this pharma name, that looks like middle of August, they're coming out with some sort of big fundamental event. So, and they just got their approval, so something's going on there. But you can see how and this is off of like the massive range. If we maybe just go off of just this spike range, yeah, I mean, either or, it doesn't really matter. But if we go off of just this smaller range, then you can see little bot setups are actually trying to come in on this little triple bottom that's developed here. So either or, if you are interested in pharma stocks, where are we here? We'll go about trade. There we are. Looks to me like we want to get excited for the lower time frames bullish setup on a move through 860. And you can see that cute little double bottom. We had a rally peak there of 826 and a rally peak here of 843. So all in all, if you are interested in pharma names, this one's setting itself up for another run. All right.
Okay, I'm back. It's working. Here? Yeah, it's working. So I'm okay. All right. So we talked about the market. You know, we just did Beyond Meat and we did the S&P. You got my thoughts. Again, I'm sorry for the interruption, guys. Should be smooth sailing from here on out. I think it was just me using that extra video program. So everything seems to be very smooth now. Okay, so this is gold. I've been watching and trading gold and kind of paying attention to the gold market. So I thought, you know, I'd include it in my weekly show now. Gold's currently trading in a range from about 1385 to around 1430. A breakout of this move could see huge upside, 1450 to 1500. I'm watching it closely for a break of this downtrend on the RSI or this uptrend here. You know, one of these two. If it can breaks down on the uptrend, it's going to head lower. If it breaks up, it's going to head higher. You can see it's just been really, really back and forth. Confusing. I know it's confusing a lot of traders for sure. My thoughts are that it's going to ultimately end up, I think if I look at the daily, it could ultimately end up going low or going higher. I think we'll get something like this. I don't have a position right now, full disclosure. I'm just kind of watching because I don't want to take a chance, but without a sure thing. But I do think that we could go up to the 14, you know, we have a nice ABCD up to the 1480 area. It's just, when is it going to happen is the question. Again, I'm watching the 4-hour chart. It's really hard to make out what's going to happen because you've got you've got uptrends, you've got downtrends. It's just ping-ponging back and forth. What I've kind of been doing is now that this range is established, I'll short off the highs like up here by around like 1425 area, and then I'll set a stop at like 1435. And then I'll see if it goes lower, and then I'll sell it if it gets down to 1400 and go long. Like I'll short it up here at 1425, set a stop 1430, sell it at 1400, and then set a buy with a stop at like 13. I think it's like 1394. I've been setting the stop level, and it's been working out. Right now I'm not in the trade. I didn't get into this short up here. I wish I had, but I didn't. So that's I'll have a better update on gold next week. It should break out of this at some point. I can't see this continuing for more than a week. I mean, we're here on the 18th. Let's see, this is, I mean, it could go on for another 2 weeks. We could just ping pong here. It really depends on what's going to happen with the dollar. I got to check the dollar. And the dollar, as you can see, is going up and down and ping ponging too, just like gold. Let's look at the daily chart and see if we can glean anything from this at all. No, it kind of looks like a triangle almost. Let's try a weekly. I think last time I checked, the weekly didn't look so good. Let's try drawing a ray here. Okay, so the ray is like this, and then I would draw it like this. But it doesn't look bad. It's just kind of sitting here. So we could ping pong like this all the way into the end of August and beginning of September. Let's see if I can get some.
Well, as we've talked about a lot lately, we do have a big fundamental event coming up here in the US dollar. So my suggestion to viewers is, just sort of cool your jets into this Fed announcement. As we've talked about repeatedly recently, it looks to me like this is a buy the rumor, and probably on the Fed announcement, we got to sell the news and all of the fear proxies, gold, maybe even Bitcoin, yen, treasury bonds. So your coil basically is aligning with this whole Fed event.
And you expect it's a buy the rumor, sell the news, so you expect like gold and stuff like that are going to sell off and the dollar will rally?
After the Fed announcement? Yeah, I think so.
Okay, interesting. I would be happy with that. Man, that's actually a good segue into the US dollar Thai baht.
Of course, it's entirely predicated on what they say, right? If they come out in the press conference and they say world global economic conditions are deteriorating dramatically, we need to cut rates 50 basis points, we're worried about economic collapse, well, then all bets are off. But my hunch is that in this vacuum of no news right now, the traders and Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch's, they're just pushing the market around where they can, and positioning themselves, getting ready for that Fed announcement.
Yeah, and even what I'm seeing here from the Thai baht chart is that it looks like the Thai baht is expecting the US dollar to rally, and the Thai baht will go down in exchange. So that would line up with what I'm seeing on this chart at least. Interesting. So when is that announcement, you said?
Fed is it's actually right through our TRI meetup, and I don't know. Do you watch any of the daily briefs?
I catch up sometimes.
Thomas and I are talking about it all the time. He's going to dress up as Janet Yellen, and I'm going to dress up as Ben Bernanke. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, no, this week I've been really busy, so I haven't had as much time. So sorry, guys. I'm not catching up on those sometimes. Okay, so good to know. Let's, on that note, I guess, Brian, I appreciate the input. We can jump into Bitcoin because it's up 10% and going crazy here. In typical Bitcoin fashion, we've turned around dramatically and we've gone up. How much have we moved in the last 2 days? This is ridiculous. Let's put this chart here. Let's just do this. You know, in the last 2 days, we moved almost 18%. It's just crazy. It doesn't really give you any time to wait for structure, set up, and things like that. If you want to catch the extreme bottoms, you see here, if the daily closes much higher, we're back in basically, you know, bull mode, and we've broken out of the downtrend. I want to look at the 4-hour. I really didn't expect this turnaround so fast, but it's Bitcoin. Let's see. Yeah, it's actually just sitting right at the top. So this is just a rebound. And you can see we've got an 8 on the TD mark. Maybe this is a good short area, actually. So for me, Bitcoin is still bearish on the trend. I would need to see a break above this 4-hour downtrend to get bullish. And then once I see the break, I'd have to get I'd have to see the break and then a bit of a pullback to like here. And then I would get long around 10,000. But at this time, I see this as just a dead cat bounce. And I see us going back lower again. So I'm gonna hunt shorts actually. I think I will look at shorts. I think that's not a bad idea. You could even potentially take one here where you could take a short around, maybe even set it higher where you could set the short around 10,800 or so. And then, well, no, I don't like that. So this is where my Keltner channel is. You can see it went right to the Keltner channel. So you could set up shorts like 10,650, 10,700, and then set a stop at like 10,000,800.
So
that's not
what's
a bad
the
trade.
setup here? Is the setup that Keltner channel is your trade location?
So Keltner channel is your trade location and resistance area.
And what's your indicator confirmation? I mean, I'm looking at your MACD indicator and I see a bullish divergence. You're going to short in the face of that bullish divergence?
Well, I have the RSI downtrend.
All right. So that's
and I like what I'm seeing. What's that? If I wait for confirmation, for me, if I wait for confirmation often I miss the trade. It just happens too quickly. So I like to just take, I'd like to take a shot and then have like, here's something like a 5-to-1 risk reward.
And that's just on the premise that if we move above that resistance, that purple resistance line in the Keltner channel, you get out? Is that,
yeah, I'll get out at 10,800.
That would frame your stop here.
Just keeping a risk to reward of above 5.
All right. That's so, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out the logic of your trading, like what's going on in your brain. So
yeah, so
your channel tag is your trade location.
And I also have RSI tag of the top of the downtrend line.
All right, so your RSI running into resistance and sort of the underside of your VIP line.
Yes, and we're on the underside of the VIP line on the daily and on the 4-hour, which tells me okay, bearish downtrend. I'm not gonna go long until the VIP line it's above the VIP line and positive.
Okay. And your structure on the trade is are you going to try and short just the Keltner channel line or that purple trend line on your chart?
Yeah, I'm going to try to short at the top of the Keltner channel line right here, 10,650, 10,700 area.
And then is there any target determination of this setup that are you just like
I didn't draw it, but I like a 50% retracement. Okay. So I would get out of the 50% retracement. For people that want to ride it longer, you could go down to the 1 hour and watch the RSI and just stay in the trade until the RSI breaks out of the downtrend.
Okay.
But we can do fibs here. And I like a move down to the 50% at 9,887.
Okay.
This is basically where you can see I drew it to basically there. Yeah. I kind of like know, I guess I should do it because I'm presenting, but I kind of know where the 50% is.
Right. We just, remember we got students here, right? And so if they want to understand the logic of the trade, we have to sort of, walk them through.
Yeah. And I'm sorry guys about the Thai characters. I don't know why this happened. I have no idea how this happened. Like, it wasn't like this earlier today.
Oh, good.
So I will have that fixed for next week.
Okay.
But that's the trade. Hopefully that makes sense.
It's what you're thinking, and if people want to follow your footsteps on the site, they need to sort of figure out the logic behind the trade. So.
Yeah, I understand. But I mean, yeah. So that's my logic. Hopefully it makes sense.
Sure.
I found this type of setup works well for me. That obviously the main indicator is RSI, but Keltner works well. Tight stops work well. I could be wrong on this 4 times, and then as long as I'm right 1 time, that's all that matters. And I make back all my losses if I was wrong 4 times. So it's pretty good odds. I can't really complain. Let's see what happens. I expect Bitcoin to retrace. We had this big rally. I expect to retrace, and that will give me, and I'm hoping that will put in a nice little W on the daily, and that'll give me my entry point, and I can get back into Bitcoin because right now I'm mostly in cash. And on that note, I want to, let's look at like something like XRP. So XRP on the 4-hour. See, I have this alarm. Is this on the daily? I have this set up. This little alarm here. Yeah, you can see on the daily, we already broke out on XRP. Yeah, but we needed to confirm here because it could fully retrace before the end of the day, and then you don't have the breakout. Get rid of that. But if I show you that, let me delete this. Which one is yes? I think that's not yes. I can't read Thai. If we do like this one. So you can see on the 4-hour, we have confirmation with this one here. That's why you have this huge candle. And I love how they ran it down, stopped people out, and then ran it back up. It's just so cliche. I think this 4-hour is like a head fake. Like this is meant to get people to go long, and then we're gonna go back lower again. I don't think this is like the end of the move. I think we'll get a retrace down. I hope so. I want to get back in, but I don't have a trade here. It's not set up very cleanly like Bitcoin is. Maybe we can take a look at Litecoin. Wow, that's crazy. Look at Litecoin on the 4-hour chart. If we even do off like the highest one, I mean, here is like our big breakout level. So you can see how once we came over this level, boom, we just shot up right up to my Keltner channel. And now we've got an 8 here, and we're pausing. This is crazy. It's so crazy how it does this. I don't even know how, even if I had done something like this, I could do, I guess, like this one, or even, this one, I would have done this first, and then if I'd taken a trade right away here, you can see how you would have gotten screwed over because it would have just dropped and then stopped you out. So then you could draw it. If you didn't take that one, you could draw it like this, and then you see how it just shot up here in this candle within, I mean, $10. How much is that? How do you even, I don't even understand how people can get in on these trades without watching really low time frames. Let's see, it moved almost 20% on the 4-hour chart and in a 4-hour bar. It's absolutely crazy. It's almost like gambling or something. I mean, even if you'd have to be watching like the 1-hour chart to get into some of these moves. And the reason I'm talking about this is like, guys, if you feel bad about missing this, don't, because these moves are too intense to really, for most normal people to catch. You really have to be watching this on like a 1-hour chart to catch these moves, or be taking like knife catching levels, basically. I mean, you can see, yeah, we sat down here for a while and we built up some diversions, but for me, I didn't have any real confirmation of this level until we broke out here. So maybe I could have taken it here at 85 if I was watching it super closely on the 1-hour. But you can see even here on the MACD, we didn't have any kind of divergence, nothing. And then it just boom, took off. I wanna go back to the daily chart and try drawing. I bet if I draw something like with fibs, I bet we'll see something interesting. Trying these lows down up to here. Let me reverse it. This tie stuff. Yeah, good thing I kind of know this. See, it only went down to the 50%. I mean, there's no way you would know that it's only going to go to the 50%. Maybe it would go to the 61%, 78.6 level. I mean, there's no way to know. I don't know. Brian, could you have taken this trade? Did you have any? Could you have done this?
Well,
it looks like
off of that daily chart, that looks like a railroad track. So those people that had railroad tracks, and I suppose just looking at your chart there, that was at a Keltner channel level. It'd be interesting to see if that was a fib level off of that previous range. Probably the trade is probably more off of like a 4-hour chart. If you drill down to the 4 hours, you probably saw something.
Yeah, hold on, let me get rid of this. Because I think if I drew the fibs off this range here,
and that's on Stamp, probably, and I don't know whether you'd be trading the cash market with this. This is probably more of like a forwards trade. But if we looked off a Stamp using my tools, yeah, I mean, wow, holy crap. So this is everything that we teach in the level 1 program. You can put on my screen. Willie was stupidly oversold, so you knew that the market was ripe. We have this beautiful double divergence here. So this is everything that we teach the level 1ers. I don't know whether we have any level 1ers in the lounge here, but Colleen, she's usually my guinea pig. Colleen, can you see the double divergence here? Pretty powerful stuff. So this was definitely setting up. The issue here is how do you trade this? What I'm kind of seeing here is, I think this is the right one. This looks like a head and shoulders. And I think Bitcoin actually sort of did this. So there's probably your market structure. And, I don't know whether you want to just get in there and buy the breakout, following all the indicator confirmation. Just buy the breakout of that range off of the head and shoulders. I can't get that to cooperate.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's like a tough trade. I'm talking about buying in at like $75 to $80. I'm saying it's like almost impossible. The best you could hope for is like getting in around 95. 95 is totally plausible.
2 to 1 sort of look like that on this setup. And then, if you're trying to, pick bottoms, my hunch is, if we drill down to that is a doji, that is a fractal there. The divergence looks like it already confirmed. So, like the aggressive trader, that's a little bit of a reversal right in there. Actually, this is kind of down your alley where you have a very, very small risk window buying that W.
Yeah.
You see that W down there?
Yeah, I just
like an hourly chart there. Look there's the W as plain as day.
Yeah, for me, it's just the RSI. There's no confirmation. There was no divergence, nothing. It's hard for me to take it if I don't see that.
Yeah, actually, check this out, right? If we put Willie away here for now. We got to change this color for you guys. Okay, something like that. So your RSI.
Oh, you're on the 1 hour. You're on the 1 hour. Okay, let me go to that.
Yeah, so the RSI actually put in a huge divergence here.
Yeah, on the 1 hour it did.
There's that, and then there's also that there.
But again, this is like where I'm talking about, like you'd have to be watching this on the 1 hour.
Yeah, well, you're asking me where levels are. I think that was the trade there, and you like your really small risk windows. So I think that W did paint it, but no doubt about it. And that's actually we were talking about this before we got going. Half of a trader's job is to just define what actually gets them to act ahead of time and put your opinion away. I haven't got a fucking clue what this market's going to do. I don't know. I'm just trading my setup. My setup says that when I have divergence, when I have RSI trendline breakouts, when I get W's, when I beautiful volume breakout on that move, I go. And I don't know what's going to happen. And that's the difference between the pro and the amateur. The amateur is always like, oh, I think this is going to happen. This is what the market's going to do. And that's a mug's game, right? Just define your setups and just let the setup play itself out. So, if the conclusion is price didn't set a trade up for me, I didn't have a setup here, there's nothing for me to do. That's a perfectly fine answer. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You were asking me, do I see a trade and the trade being manufactured? Yeah, I could see a trade. In hindsight, it's always 2020. And, I might even argue that this is probably an interesting little flag bot set up here. And then, of course, that head and shoulders. So, the key here is you have to define, like if you are, like we got some guys in the lounge, Daniel is one hell of a trader. He is just ripping this market apart right, left, and center. And he's been posting, got stopped out on this trade, no big deal. Oh, look at this trade I took. Woo, huge win. I love his attitude, just beautiful attitude. So, really, and he's trading off like a 15-minute chart. So really the key here is to figure out what works for you individually, build your plan, identify your setups, and then when they come in, I got no opinion. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. The setup told me to go, I go. So that's my response to that. So.
Okay.
All right. I don't know whether that helped or hurt, but that's Brian's 2 cents.
Oh, it's good input. So for me, I just didn't have the setup. It moved too quickly on the 4-hour and daily. Those are the charts I like to trade off of. So now I'm just in wait and see mode on most of these coins. And I'm going to wait for hopefully a retracement and then see about going long. If I can get some kind of W to come in on something like NEO and Litecoin and things like that, I'm gonna start looking for longs. But I need to see a retracement here. And a continuation of the bullish signals we've gotten. Recently.
What I love is Joshua is building these matrices of the coins and then just throwing the algo on there just to watch them. And he can just simply scan the whole market really quickly. And I don't know whether you can do the 8-panel kind of thing, but maybe that's something you might want to consider and just throw up a whole bunch of these names with like an RSI study. And you can just quickly scan and see ideas that you might want to consider. Not a bad idea at all. I love how Joshua did that. And he posts it regularly on the site. So cool. That's kind of like, I have these matrices going for, I think I've got them off the bigger capital markets. Maybe we could get you to build one of those kind of things. Who knows? I'm going to be turning this altcoin one into a RSI matrix. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be really cool. I was going to do this for today's show, but I was having the computer trouble, so I didn't. Deal. But it's the main thing. I want to turn that one around. So let me just talk about it really quick, and then I think we'll call it a day. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're coming to the top of the hour, so good job. Yeah, I just want to talk about this one really quick. But my computer is slowing again. There's something that causes my my internal graphics card to use all of its memory. That's the big problem. It gets like 90% utilization and everything slows down. I don't know why. Let me just apply a basic RSI. I was going to apply my special one, but we can just apply the basic one here to these. Let's apply it to the Schultz. Add indicator. RSI. Next week I'll have a much better one to present to you guys. One more. Okay. Add indicator. RSI. Okay, so we've got
the FA Schultz, the best fundamental ones. We've got the Schultz, and then we've got the overall index. And at the top, we've got Bitcoin. And I just applied RSIs to all three of them. It's, this top one is for this one, this one's for this one, middle one, and this one's for this one. They all look pretty similar, as you can see, especially the Binance and the top FA ones, which I would expect. But it's pretty cool to see like how different the Schultz ones look, though. That's definitely a bit of a difference. It certainly doesn't look as nice as the other two. So I think for me that, I do stick to the top FA ones and the big coins. I don't really play with the little ones. I just don't need to take the risk and hope that I'll get like a 200 or 300% return. That's not my strategy anymore. I primarily try to just find a couple coins that I like, especially the bigger names, and I'll just trade them, like I do any other stock. That's my strategy. I just wanted to show this chart really quick to show the difference. It looks like to me, if I draw my little trend line here, especially off this one looks really clean. And then again, this one here, we're still in a bear, as everyone probably knows here. But if we can put in a bit of a W and then break out of this downtrend, alts should go up again. We'll be back in alt season. But for now, everything's pretty bearish. We can look at here where if you'd been using this, where it would have told you to get out. So something like, unfortunately, it wouldn't have had you get out till about this area, July 10th, which isn't bad. I think, if you got out by July 10th, July 11th, you saved yourself for most of the downturn. It's went from here to here. That's a pretty decent savings. If we look at NEO, you got out on the 11th. I go back to the 11th. Let's say you got out the 11th here. You would have gotten out at $15, and now it's at 12. So you saved yourself a couple bucks. I mean, the high was 20. You could have bought down here at 12 and then gotten out still at a decent level around 15, just based off using these overall market indicators. You don't have to look at everything. I think, if I can go to XRP too, I bet it's similar, where you got out at a decent level, just by looking at that one chart, and just using the RSI. So if we go back here, 11, oh, that one's painful. Okay, so this one would have hurt. You would have gotten out somewhere around the 34 level. It's at 32 now, but certainly a lot lower than the 48 high. So this one, you maybe would have had to look at the individual market, because you could have drawn it something like this and even gotten out here, or even over here, could have gotten out. So in the case of XRP, maybe for the bigger coins, you might want to check them yourself. But for smaller ones like NEO and lower than that, it's not a bad idea to just lump them all into the index like this. If I draw it off the fundamental one, do we get a similar exit point? Yeah, this one, I think it would have, you could have gotten out around July 6th or 7th for the fundamental ones, because it did cross decisively and confirm here. I would have waited till the rebound and then gotten out. Let's see the really crappy ones. I draw something like this.
Maybe we could sort of wind this up here. We are at the top of the hour, so maybe next couple minutes you can summarize.
Okay, I mean that was all I had on the alts. I think it's a bear still. I think we're gonna go maybe a little bit lower again. We're just having a quick retracement, and then I think we're gonna head down again. Not too far. We just got to put in that W, and then we got to break out of the downtrend. I don't think the sky is falling, but at the same time, I wouldn't be buying alts yet. We're in wait and see mode. I guess that's all I've got in crypto. I should have done a site update at the beginning. I'm gonna do it really quick now. The big update is just that I am thinking about maybe running a portfolio on the site with some trades. We're fleshing it out now a little bit, so we'll see. I'm not going to lay out every little detail of how I make my decision and lay out every step of the setup. That's something we got to discuss as a team. But for me, I don't think I'm going to lay out every single little thing because this is meant to be like a portfolio that you guys can follow. And I'm going to just run trades through. It'll be option trades. It'll be not complex option trades. If it's an option, it's going to be a simple one. I'm not going to do any complex ones. And then just normal stocks and then crypto trades, which are just based off my strategy. So that's something I'm looking at doing so people can follow some trades from us and just track the performance. You know, we'll see how it goes. If it does well, then you guys are welcome to follow along. But again, it's just me sharing my personal trades kind of. Another thing looking at doing is maybe doing a little Saturday show, a quick like crypto recap show, which you guys already get everything here. This will just be like a little YouTube thing. We're just looking at some marketing ideas and some cool stuff to do for fun. That's why I was experimenting with like the crazy background and everything. Other than that, just preparing for the Vancouver meetup. We've got the power banks on order. So we've got a little power bank surprise for everybody coming. Hopefully you guys will like it. Somebody's sharing their screen there. It's an interesting picture.
I think Chris is here.
That's all I've got.
I think Chris is here.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. So that's kind of all I've got. Oh, nice hotel there. That's all I've got as far as site update. We're doing a couple other things, but maybe I'll share them next week. But we are working away, and I'm looking at a couple ways to generate some more content for you guys, especially for those who don't have time to watch the Daily Brief every day. That's it. That's all I've got.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate the baby powder report. So I think we'll probably wind it up at that. Mr. Mayor, are you ready to take us out of here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Great to see Chris has got nice and settled here locally, all brought to you by the good people at Litecoin. Right, Chris? All right. Have yourselves a great day, everybody. All the best, and bye for now.